So earlier today, the NPP held a presser where they were demanding for further sanctions against Sammy Gyamfi and also asking for a full-scale investigation into the source of the dollar bill displayed in a viral video. And in that presser, Dr. Kabiru Mahama, MP for Walewale, was seen addressing the media. But thankfully, we have him in the studio and we want to understand what exactly his concerns are. Good to have you on the program.
Good to see you on the program too.
Well, let me not waste your time. Sammy Gyamfi before your presser issued an apology, and in the apology he described the action as a personal gift or a kind gesture. In your presser, you cited violation of the Foreign Exchange Act, Act 723, and this act, I'm sure, just prohibits the pricing, advertising and receipt or payment for goods and services in foreign currency. Now, since gifting, which Sammy Gyamfi stated in his apology, is not explicitly mentioned in the act, can you clarify how this law implies or applies in this context?
Well, so for the purposes of education, and before that, let me say good evening to you and to your cherished viewers. For the purposes of education, Foreign Exchange Act 2006, Act 724, under Section 3, talks about requirement of licenses. And if you read that section, it says, especially subsection 1 of that act, specify that no person shall be engaged or shall engage in the business of dealing in foreign currency without approval from the Bank of Ghana. That is what the law says. Now, it didn't stop there. Subsection 4 goes on to tell us what they mean by the business of dealing in foreign exchange. An amount that they say it includes receiving or payment in foreign currency, right? It didn't say the purpose, whether for goods and services, whether for whatever. It did not specify that, but they said that the business of dealing in foreign currency includes receiving or payment in foreign currency. All right? Whether it is gratuitous payment, whether it is for goods and services, the law prohibits any payment or any receiving of funds in foreign currency. And that is what the law says, explicitly, black and white. So one would have thought that Sammy Gyamfi, being a lawyer, would have averted his minds to this particular provision of the law. When I hear people say there's no wrong, there's no law violated, it's only a political indiscretion, I beg seriously to differ, because the Bank of Ghana issued notices warning people against holding dollar, trading and invoicing or pricing in dollar because they make their reference to this Foreign Exchange Act. There's no separate law guiding that. So the law is clear. People are saying that what he gave was a gift. Then it's not payment. Really? What is it? Giving money to someone and to a person receiving it, is it not paying and receiving for whatever purpose?
So you're insisting he broke the law?
No, clearly, Mr. Sammy Gyamfi broke the law. And for me, I don't see why people are trying to. The problem with this was that there's enough literature to support any indiscretion. There's enough literature to support any wrongdoing. And that is the problem we are having in the country, because any wrong thing you do, there will be litany and plethora of literature for people to use to justify it, trying to find loopholes, even their own code of conduct. Clearly, what was demonstrated is opulence. But they are not saying that their code of conduct is not clear. There is all those semantics and all that is intended, or they are all intended to actually clean Mr. Sammy Gyamfi of any wrongdoing. I don't think it's appropriate. Look, the gentleman has acknowledged that he has done something wrong. As to what he terms the wrong is a different matter. He has apologized. He terms it a generous gift, which we all know from the street. Ordinary Ghanaian doesn't think that Agradaa deserved that generosity that Mr. Sammy Gyamfi said he was. Agradaa has a different version. He says that the house he gave them for free, if she was to charge them, it would be sikabibre. They cannot pay, right? So just give me something for free. So in the mind of Agradaa, there's a consideration. Okay, the money he's giving or she's receiving is in lieu of something she has done for them in the past. In the mind of Sammy Gyamfi, you can say that there was no consideration. I was just only giving something in as a gratuitous, out of my own generosity. You see, but whatever it is, even if it was $1, Mr. Sammy Gyamfi is holding and going to town with it, and he has no dollar, he has no Ghana city with him. And as a senior government, every Ghanaian should be concerned that he's holding and spreading and circulating dollar in the Ghanaian economy, right? What it's basically doing is that it's increasing the circulation of United States dollar in the Ghanaian economy and making it a legal tender, contrary to the fact that the Ghanaian cedi is the only legal tender in Ghana. So these are the issues that we cannot glean. We cannot just say that, nothing was done.
Before I asked you to explain further on the type of sanctions you prefer, you are also asking for a full-scale investigation into the source of the dollar bills displayed in the viral video. How feasible is that?
Well, it's feasible because there's lifestyle audit that the president has even promised in their code of conduct that if a president is living a lifestyle that you think that does not commensurate with the public officers or holder of certain office, you need to do audit. You did audit to see whether Mr. Sammy Gyamfi has some businesses that are fetching him dollars. And even if they were fetching him dollars, he has no right to spend it the way he was spending it. Clearly, he could change it to Ghana cedi and spend 1 million on someone, whatever.
One will argue that that is his personal money.
That's what I'm saying. He could change it to Ghana cedi and spend it the way he wanted. Spending it in dollar is one of the problems, right? So aside that, you need to do audit and find out where the money is coming from, because that's only one of the only boards that were given dollars. As a matter of fact, $279 million were voted by us to that particular board as revolving fund. Who knows? It could be part of the money that he's already spending. But that was not the purpose we approved that money for. People argued, oh, Sammy Gyamfi is selling and buying gold, and that gold is bought in dollars. Right? Is that so? You cannot buy dollar in dollars. You cannot buy gold in dollars in Ghana. You buy it with the cedi equivalent. You then export it and then bring in dollar. If we're buying gold in dollar, then there's no sense setting up the gold board. It will not make sense because we are trying to make the value of the Ghana cedi go up. And he's everywhere saying that we want to increase foreign exchange. So you have to buy the dollar in Ghana cedi, export it, take dollar, and come and deposit it in the Bank of Ghana. So you have no business holding dollars. And you take cedi from the Bank of Ghana and go and buy the dollars. Go and buy the gold. So those people trying to justify that, oh, he's the leader and he's the one supposed to be buying gold and gold is priced in dollar, he should be having dollar, they don't know what they are talking about. We raised issue about Agradaa also paying taxes on the gear, and people thought it was ridiculous. Really? That their income tax law says that even gifts is supposed to be taxed on it. And someone is given an amount, allegedly $10,000. Even there are different schools of thought on the amount. But from all intent and purposes, the amount so given is more than $2,000. Because even if you follow the video and you follow the count, you will have realized that even from the time the video captured Mr. Sammy Gyamfi counting, you can count about 18 of the pieces before he took that and grabbed the remainder of the money. So people saying that it is $800, they are trying to insult the intelligence of the Ghanaian people.
But does the amount matter?
One, the amount doesn't matter to the extent that it is done in a currency that is prohibited from circulating in Ghana. That's one. Two, the amount also speaks to the fact that if someone could ask for fuel and someone is given an equivalent of 120,000 Ghana cedi for fuel, it speaks to the kind of lifestyle we are living.
You know, Doc, this act has been in existence for quite some time, and there are concerns of the NPP trying to politicize the issue, because you didn't really have a problem with this when something of this sort, or even bigger, happened just a while back with Cecilia Dapat. So people are just concerned that the NPP is just trying to politicize the issue because it is Sammy Gyamfi and he is in the NDC.
No, it's not Sammy Gyamfi. In the first place, what wrong did Cecilia Dapat did? Nothing. She kept dollar in the room, which we thought it was an offense to be holding dollar at the time that the city was what? Suffering. She didn't even display the dollar.
But
the dollar I'm keeping.
Is that a point?
The dollar that I'm keeping in my room, which is not appropriate, which is against the law, okay, she lost her job because of that. Someone stealing her money. On top of that, she lost her job.
But that is not the point. The fact that she had dollars in
I
her
agree,
house.
I agree, I agree. And I'm
That
saying
is
that.
foreign
And I'm
currency.
saying that I agree. And that is why she lost her job. Okay? People cannot say, I mean, NPP was. Cecilia Depal lost her job in the NPP government because of that. Now, are we seeing Mr. Sammy Gyamfi also losing his job?
Is that what you're asking for?
Basically, there must be, if you have to be fair to the both facts, this woman was even hiding it. There was not even opulence.
Is it about what is fair or what is right
What
by
is
law?
right is that the person acted in breach, Cecilia Deba acted in breach of the Foreign Exchange Act, which we raised it at that time, and she lost her job. It is also right and proper that Mr. Sammy Gyamfi is made to understand that he has breached the same act, and there must be sanctions. Right? You cannot treat the same issue differently. Because the bottom line is that both of them were acting in a manner that does not sit down well with our fiscal policies, with our monetary policy, and with our existing laws.
Dr. Kabiru, just give me a second. We have a governance analyst on the phone line, Dr. Frederick Ojo, who joins us on phone to have a conversation on this particular matter. Good to have you on the program, sir. Some have defended this act by Sammy Gyamfi as a simple act of generosity. Where can we draw the line between public officers' act of kindness and opulence?
Well, where we draw a line begins with, if my memory serves me right, barely 2 years ago,
Do I need to say?
when President Mahama was launching the Mahama Care Fund, he mentioned that he himself has not received any salary since he assumed office. And it stands to reason that knowing how our system works, it takes close to 6 months when people get employed to be put on the government payroll. So you begin by asking yourself, what is the source of this funds that were being paid or that was being given out? For me, the optics is not good at all. It can't be defended. Because here we have a situation, people in political office or somebody in political office who is not received salary, but still so generous that he can give out money to somebody he deems to be somebody in need. But then I'm asking myself whether this lady in question, whether she is an evangelist or a city priestess, whether we can count her as a poor person. Because we've also seen videos, her own shared videos of her opulent lifestyle. Then this person goes to him, asks for fuel money, and then is given what is believed to be substantial amount of dollars. It doesn't look good, especially coming after the president's own injunction on his appointees to live by certain standards. So for me, it raises the question of what is the source of the funds that he was giving out. And mind you, you can only give out gifts when you have enough for yourself and perhaps for your immediate family. So if you will give out such an amount, I don't know the quantum, but it can be said to be enough. If you can give such an amount, and especially in foreign currency, it creates an impression of opulence, which does not look good, for especially somebody who's been in office and perhaps in all likelihood has never received any salary from his position. So it calls for serious questions to be asked.
The fact that this creates some impression of opulence, do you foresee the president struggling to actually tackle this matter when it comes to sanctioning Sammy Gyamfi?
Well, it depends on how powerful he is in his party. If he's a very powerful individual in his party and he's got strong backers in his party, nothing is going to be done. But for me, I think it is up to President Mahama to take a firm stance on such an issue. Because this is how governments begin to lose public trust. When some of such occurrences happen and there's virtually no action taken, then people will begin to feel that it's all the same. Because, look, mind you, this country has suffered so much from corruption. And we all are aware of incidents. You were just recounting one where a government official was having so much money in their home. So you ask yourself, how much does he have for him to even keep so much in his vehicle and to give out so much? So these are critical questions because there is a history in this country. And we can go back to the days of President Nkrumah when people were having golden beds and all that. So it is a question that has bedeviled our governance for so many years, since independence. And we all agree that corruption is a canker. And mind you, we can never tell what somebody has until we see how much they spend.
Okay. Doc, before you go, I would come back to you on conversations about the Public Office Act. But Dr. Kabiru, I just want to wrap up with you. In the sanctions you are asking for, does his dismissal include?
Well, so the least the president can do is to ask for his suspension. And ultimately, if it is found that he's found himself, as we believe, that he has breached the law, then he has to go.
And you think that will be enough a deterrent?
I mean, that is what the punishment, because even the law says that if you do that, they should send you to prison for 18 months or a fine of not less than 700 penalty unit or both, right? So if the law we believe and allege he has broken is established, that is the punishment. And once he goes to prison or fine, he cannot be a CEO of Gold Board. Otherwise, the president can just take the simple decision of say, okay, look, I'm relieving of your duty as a first major action I have to take in order for the Ghanaian people to believe that when it matters, I will act. If the president doesn't do that...
in an event where all these things are not done, what you're expecting,
well, so
what would you do?
It depends. The leadership of the minority will advise ourselves on the next call, but we have every other options available, including parliamentary tools, where the minister with the oversight responsibility will be called for us to have accountability. We have the legal route where we feel that, remember, a public officer has broken the rule. We can also actually activate the legal procedure. There are several cards on the table, and we'll take one at a time. We believe that the president will take action. And when he does, we believe everyone will see it to be fair and stern. If he doesn't, then it's a long road that will travel. But for us in the minority, we will not trust whatever the president says in terms of his fight against impunity, indiscipline, recklessness, and, if you like, misappropriation of public resources.
Okay. Thank you so much for making time to speak with us. That was the MP for Walewale, Dr. Kabiru Mahama. He's also a member of Parliament's Finance Committee, speaking with me on this particular matter.